Welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Open Ultra League, and today we're going to be running back a team that we've been running part 2 of Shadow Dragonite Jellicient and Registeel. Our opponent switches out into the Ampharos after we switch out. They're going to come in with a move right there. We're going to tank it. We're going to go for a Shadow Ball. The Shadow Ball ends up going through. They're going to go for this Brutal Swing, taking out our Jellicent. And now we're going to have to go in with our Dragonite here. Dragonite does get the farmed out. We switch out into the Registeel once they reveal that they have the Fairy type. And unfortunately, we see a Swampert in the back. This Swampert here is going to be able to dominate this matchup. They go for a Hydro Cannon though, so we avoid one of the big moves. Let's see if we're going to shield this next one. We shield a Hydro Cannon right there. Now we're going to go for this Focus Blast. Focus Blast goes through. We do get a shield, so that's at least a positive. Still a long ways to go here. Here we decided to double shield, and we do shield a Hydro Cannon again. Hydro Cannon is not the move we want to be shielding. Another Focus Blast goes through, ends up being the shield, and they're going to be able to switch into their Clefable. Clefable is going to be able to beat this Dragonite really easily, and now they have to just chip away at this. And then pretty much we are not going to be able to win this game because they already have that Swampert in the back. Plus, we have no shields. So this is all but over, and that is GG. It's just a hard counter team. Not much we could have done right there. On to the next game. Let's see what we find. We got the Shadow Dragonite versus the Golisopod. Golisopod here is going to switch out. The Ampharos stays. And we're gonna stay in with our Dragonite. This Dragonite does get a Dragon Claw to go off, or they actually shield it. We're going to shield this Brutal Swing here because we're going to play this out. We're going to shield right here. Our opponent is going to have to think about shielding this next move, but we're just going to throw on CAP timing. This is going to get a shield, or they're going to let it go. Ends up letting it go, and now we're going to be able to match up our backline with this Golisopod. Let's see what we come in with here. We're going to go in with our Jellicent. We don't think that they have the Aero Ace, so we will be resisting all the moves. So they do throw the Liquidation. One Liquidation goes through, another Liquidation goes through, all resisted. And it looks like they have the Annihilate. Is that Annihilate? It is the Annihilate. We are able to get a huge Shadow Ball to go off. It doesn't KO. Now our opponent is going to throw a Night Slasher. Night Slash chips away at the Jellicent. We throw this Surf to get rid of the Annihilate, and then we're going to be able to show them that we have the Registeel for that Golisopod. So nice call by us right there. Just making a team read. Sometimes that's what it takes, and we were fortunate enough to match up the correct stuff with the right Pokemon. If we had switched out, we would have gotten all misaligned in that last game. So Guzzlord here is difficult for this Dragonite. Fortunately, it hard counters our Jellicent, so we're going to have to stay in and play this out. At least we get a shield out of this situation, so that's the best that situation could have been. Come in with this Registeel to tank all of these moves. They have the Crunch version. Our opponent here has the Guzzlord Skeledirge combination. We are going to shield this first one here to apply the pressure. We're going to go for this Shadow Ball here. It does go through. It doesn't quite KO, but we are able to farm down. So that's a good farm down by us. Expecting them to come in with their Guzzlord. This Guzzlord here potentially has this shield if they wants to keep it alive. But they decide to tank that. We are going to have to take a crunch right there. They reveal that they have the Jellicent in the back. So this Jellicent versus this Registeel. Who's going to be able to win this game? Let's find out. A little bit of frame drops happening right now, but it's okay. We're going to shield this. It ends up being the Shadow Ball, so that's a correct shield. We're going to go for another Zap Cannon here. They have to shield here, but it has a chance to debuff. No debuff right there. So now it's going to be erased. Can we get to another Zap Cannon before they can get to another Shadow Ball? This Shadow Ball is going to go through. Does it KO from this range? Yes, it does. But luckily, we do have energy on our own Jellicent. We're going to throw this Shadow Ball just to be sure we take it out. And then we are able to farm down with the Jellicent against that Guzzlord. So GG's to our opponent right there, able to win that tough lead. with the Registeel and Jellicent combination. Alright, next we're going to have the Shadow Dragonite versus this Tentacruel. We kind of have to just play this out. Tentacruel could be paired with a variety of things. I've seen it with like Mandibuzz. So it would hard counter our Jellicent. We're just going to stay in, play this out. Oh! Frame drops all over the place right there, but apparently we got a Dragon Claw to go off. They do decide to shield, and then our opponent here is going to have to throw energy that is ineffective against this Jellicent. So right now we're going to tank this move, and ends up being a Acid Spray Scald combination. We're looking for the farm down. Good farm down right there. Let's see what our opponent has in the back. Ends up being the Steelix, but they actually have the Poliwrath in the very back. So this Zap Cannon does get shielded by my opponent. Now we're just going to have to shield here. We do get the debuff, unfortunately. We're looking for at least one more Zap Cannon. Here we're going to let this... we're going to shield a Icy Wind. That was not a good shield right there. We already debuffed, and they debuff us again. Here we're going to switch out immediately and snipe this Poliwrath energy. So all that energy is gone, and then our opponent here ends up coming back in with their Steelix. Looks like we're going to be able to get to multiple serves right here. At this point, our goal is to try to get to 3 serves. We do get to another serve right here. Does this serve KO this Steelix? Because this Steelix is looking for a farm down, and we do take it out barely, because that Steelix was looking to KO our Registeel with a huge Earthquake, probably. So let's see if we can end up on a good note here. This Dragonite versus Dragonite matchup is going to be interesting. Do we stay in, or do we try to catch a move? Let's find out. We do try to catch a move. We do catch a Dragon Claw. Let's see what they have in the back. Ends up being the Ampharos in the back. So Ampharos is okay. They fortunately do not have Focus Blast because they threw the move pretty early. Thunder Punch we can tank, and then we're just going to throw this Focus Blast. This Focus Blast took about 50% roughly, maybe a little bit less. We can survive this next one. We're going to throw this Focus Blast. This is going to get a shield, or it's going to get a KO. So we do get a shield out of that situation. Our opponent decides to throw another move here. We're going to tank it, and we're going to hope we can get to another move. And fortunately, that does not happen. Our opponent does end up getting to 2 Thunder Punches. So let's see what we're going to throw in here. We're going to go in with our Dragonite after a little bit of farm. This Dragon Claw will take it out. Our opponent does switch out into the Tentacruel. This Tentacruel is going to look to throw some moves at our Jellicent. Scald goes through. We avoid the debuff. We're going to throw this Shadow Ball here. Let's see if they end up shielding. No shield, but you can see this Tentacruel is an absolute tank. Our opponent does switch out, and before we let them farm a lot, we're just going to throw a couple of fast moves and throw the Surf. Then we're going to have enough energy to throw another Shadow Ball back at this Tentacruel, and let's see if our opponent ends up... Okay, we try to catch a move right there. They just snipe our energy. We're going to shield right here. Ends up being the Scald, and then we're going to be able to farm down with our Shadow Dragonite. So check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.